is Alex Prager.
I remember the first photo I saw was with the ones with the dirty shoes under the bed. I was so moved by something so bland. I didn't understand what was so moving about what I was looking at because I had never seen photography being shown as art before that. So that was the first real experience that I had with that. I came up with the idea for Facing the Crowd 4 or 5 years ago. I'd had this personal thing with crowds for years, and it was getting worse. It wasn't getting better. It was this thing of getting in front of crowds and just having this really visceral reaction, overwhelming to the sense of just being completely out of control. And then free at the same time. This was my first time having a set built and shooting in a studio. If we're going to have all this production, we wouldn't want to miss this opportunity to have some nice moving images of the crowds. So we got a great cinematographer, Ross Richardson, and if we're going to have these moving images, we might as well make it into a story. I needed a really good actress. That led us to Elizabeth Banks. I had this idea of somebody that felt vulnerable and beautiful and familiar, someone that we'd want to kind of follow through these crowds. I wanted it to be strange and awkward and constantly weaving in and out of reality and fiction. For the film, I wanted to focus on the two sides of a crowd, the individuals that make up the crowd, their interesting stories and their life experiences, and then the other side of the crowd, which could be just a sea of anonymous faces, just be kind of an overwhelming sense of movement and texture around Elizabeth. I wanted her to be sort of the light in the center of the confusion. The film and the photographs were shot at exactly the same time. They were really meant to communicate the same thing from totally different perspectives. It actually got me to look at why both mediums are important to me, and I can't really do one without the other now. The idea for the 3-screen came about when I started working with my editor, Matt Chessie, having a screen on either side of you and then one in front of you when you walk into the room. It was really able to capture the movement of a crowd and the chaos that it can turn into. It really felt like it needed to be something that you were a part of and surrounded by. This series was a culmination of everything that I've been working towards. It just led up to this crowd series. And I'm not even done with it yet. I almost feel like I just hit the tip of the iceberg and there's so much more for me to discover with crowds. When I decided to first do the film, it was to show the two sides of a crowd, the sea of anonymous faces and yourself in the middle of it, and then all the individual stories. I feel like I'm always looking at these people from a distance, like a voyeur, but I'm looking for a kind of disconnected connection. And even before I started the crowd series, I was always looking for something that was beautiful but awkward.